I stumbled across a little online debate recently that I kind of wanted to talk about and discuss in a way. And it was about which thing is better to believe in for children or kids, Santa Claus or God. Yeah. Now, let's start off with all the things that they have in common, both Santa Claus and God. They're both magical beings with otherworldly powers. They're both all seeing in some way, all knowing in some way. They both apparently watch everything we do in some way or form, according to the lore of both of them. And also, weirdly enough, they both have a judgment system based on whether you're good or bad. Like with Santa Claus, it's whether you're naughty or nice, and with God, it's whether you're a sinner or not. Yeah. Yeah. Now, let's talk about their differences. With Santa Claus is a much more positive, magical being. He's joyful, he's cheerful, he's merry, he's always happy, usually, and yeah, always nice, and yeah. And the story of Santa Claus, usually in almost every depiction, is a nice story, is a story filled with fun and joy and merriment and yeah, and cheer and whatnot. It's a nice story. And yeah. And also with Santa Claus, when Santa Claus deems you a naughty person, or you get deemed naughty by Santa, what is the punishment? You get put on the naughty list. You get coal in your stocking, or you don't get any presents, and also Santa is disappointed in you. That's it. It's not really that bad of punishment, honestly. And also, you can easily get back on the nice list. Santa's always willing to forgive you for your past mistakes and naughty stuff you did in the past. Santa is always willing to forgive. Because honestly, Santa wants you to be on the nice list. Because he wants to, deliver all the presents to all the nice and good kids in the world. And yeah. So, yeah, he's pretty easy to please and not really that quick to judge. And yeah. But God, on the other hand, he's a different story. Yes, I know there is some positive stories about God and the positive things God has done and whatnot. If you read the Bible and whatnot, there is some positive things that God has done and whatnot. But the bad and negative stuff always outweigh the good and positive stuff when it comes to God. There is far more stories about God's pettiness, God's wrath, God's anger, God's punishments, God's cruelty, God's demanding nature. Yeah, there's far more negative than there is positive when it comes to God. And also, when God deems you a sinner, what's the punishment? Suffering, damnation. You get sent to hell to burn for all eternity. Yeah, that's pretty harsh. It's pretty awful. It's a harsh punishment, especially compared to what Santa does. Yeah. And honestly, you constantly have to prove to God that you're worthy of, love and acceptance and heaven. You have to prove that you're a good person constantly to God, so you don't get sent to hell, so you don't get damned, so you don't have to suffer. You constantly have to prove it to God. God is not that willing to forgive all the time. And yeah. So, with all that being said, which one is better to believe in? For me personally, Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus is more positive. Santa Claus is willing to forgive. Santa Claus is less demanding. Santa Claus is nicer. Santa Claus is just a more positive thing to believe in. And honestly, if I had kids, I would rather them believe in Santa Claus than God. Yeah.